My name is Jada.
Kai.
Liz.
And I'm Camille. Friends. How many of us have that?
Yes! I mean, so it's gotta be a, what is it?
Hot Tita Summer.
What's good, everybody? You got Jada,
Kai.
Liz.
And Camille.
and we are calling all Boss Baba'es and Creative Kabayan.
We have a special kind of break today. Are you all ready?
Oh, yeah. And we're just redefining what it means to be Tita.
Yes, so thank you so much for being here. We're super grateful. If it's Thursday, you're watching us on FTV, the one and only. And if it's any other day, we're probably on Spotify on your TV right now, or on Apple Podcast, or on YouTube. So subscribe and like, please. And thank you.
Yes.
Okay, today is a very special day because we got a special guest with us. So, this special
That was
guest,
so official, Cam.
we're gonna tee it all up. All right, we gotta give the credentials here.
Yeah. Give the
All
flowers.
right,
Give
so-
the bulaklaks.
She is all the bulaklaks. Okay.
I mean,
She is an anchor reporter for Canada's #1 breaking news channel, CP24.
ow!
Her portfolio has covered events such as Toronto International Film Fest, the provincial elections, 2016 Grey Cup, 2019 NBA championships. What a time. Okay.
Come on.
Never
Hey,
forget
hey.
that. And the 2020 Tokyo Summer Olympics. But it does not end there, okay?
Of course not.
She is definitely one of the gal them repping the East End,
go.
Scarborough, homegrown. She's also a former athlete, excelling in volleyball, and she's played for Grambling State University, where she's also a proud, let me not mess it up now, Alpha Kappa, Alpha Sorority Inc. member. She's also played for the Jamaican indoor volleyball team.
Come on.
And she's repped us in the motherland, playing professionally in the Philippines, also winning the, where is it? PSL Grand Prix. Okay, so
Hey.
catch a joke. We're not done yet. Okay?
We want more bulaklaks.
More.
More bulaklaks.
Yes.
On her own time, she likes to give back and work with nonprofit organizations hosting events linked to empowering marginalized youth. She understands the importance of representation and is committed to utilizing her platform to empower the next generation so that they can strive to be their best
Amazing.
self. Without further ado, can we give a
Oh,
hand?
Yes.
What is it? A
She
round
the
of applause
one.
for Kayla Williams, everybody.
Hi,
Tita Kayla. Tita
Kayla.
Listen.
Hi, welcome to the show. We are so happy for you to be here, and we've been waiting a long time.
Listen, I've been waiting. I was like, let me get my Tita on. I'm so excited because can I just say that I love what you've created here. I love,
thanks, girl.
you know, just the energy, the vibes. Like if you grew up in the GTA, if you grew, even if you didn't, but even if you just grew up, you know, in the culture, like so much of what you all talk about is so relatable and so funny. So that's why when I was saying, you know, like when I slid in your DM, I was like, listen,
I nearly dropped my phone. Okay, guys. The DM came in, and I was like, screenshot Titas. You'll never guess what happened. Like,
I was just like, listen, can I be a Tita one day?
Yes.
And she was like, what? Yeah.
Obviously.
And look, here we are. So I'm excited.
yes.
Thank you for having me.
Glad
Thank
that
you
you're
for
here.
coming.
Thank you. Yeah.
So,
Thank you for sliding in the DM.
Listen, you got to shoot your shot.
right?
So we're gonna always start it off. Obviously, we're all repping the East End. What part of Scarborough are you from?
Hey.
Oh my goodness. So I grew up right at McCowan and Shepherd.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, so like
Wow.
I could throw a rock at Town Center. I grew up in Town Center. Like I'm not exaggerating. Like from I don't even know. True and true, because of like how many jobs I worked in there. Like I had a job. I worked at Taco Bell, guys, back at the original food court.
No, you didn't.
Yes, the original food court, like at the top floor.
Upstairs.
Like by
Real
Koya.
ones, no.
Right next to
my
Koya,
gosh.
Taco Bell, New York fries.
Yeah.
You know.
I envisioned it all. That
You saw
hallway.
it. You
that
could see it in
hallway.
your
blast from the past. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Grade 10 times. Like that was like I started there. From there, I jumped everywhere. I worked at Taco Bell, Mex,
Lids.
Check. Stop it. Kayla.
Moxies.
You did a round.
Right?
You did a round.
Amazing.
You did the tour.
Scarborough Town Center like paid for my teenage years. Okay.
Amazing.
That's
Speaking of
amazing.
STC,
Yeah.
speaking of Scarborough, we know that you are one of the faces for the Love Scarborough campaign.
Yes.
So,
Yay.
what is one of the things that you do love about Scarborough?
Oh my goodness. So I thank you for mentioning that because it's not just me, because it's me and my Lolo. So shout out to Lolo Ben.
Hi, Lolo.
Hi, Lolo.
Hi, Mang Ben. You know what? So for me, how we even got asked to be part of the Love Scarborough campaign was really near and dear because, long story short, Scarborough General Hospital essentially helped save my Lolo's life. So it was last year where he needed a pretty heavy emergency surgery, and it was like fast. And yeah, long story short, by the grace of God, he survived the surgery and he's doing well. But like that, you know, like those few weeks where we weren't sure, and then of course the recovery of it afterwards. But just the process of like when we were there at Scarborough Gen, and like the help, the nurses, the doctors, everyone from beginning to end was so helpful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so I had hosted an event for Scarborough Health Network prior to that.
The
And
zoo.
so
Yes, I remember that.
the day at the zoo.
I follow you.
So they basically sort of like doubled back and was like, you know, would you be interested in this? And I said, absolutely, because like I can speak from experience
Right.
what Love Scarborough and what Scarborough Health Network, you know, has done. Because, you know, for those who may not know, I mean, we have one of the most, if not the most multicultural population in the GTA.
Right.
And we also have the least amount of resources. And yet they do so much with those minimal funds and resources. And so to be asked to be a part of it was a no-brainer. And so the fact that I was able to bring Lolo Ben on and we got to do it. And we did it at Markham Station too. It was such a cute photo shoot. Yeah.
Full
it was a
circle
staple
moment.
first full circle moment. We they just told us to come there that evening, and we sat down and we had dinner together. And then they captured moments of us just talking and eating, and then we just snapped this photo. You know, it was done in the winter, just in front of it in our winter coats. But and they just caught this really cute moment of us just like looking at each
I
other.
seen it.
So
Super cute.
my Lolo, my Lolo's my guy. Like that. He's my guy. He's been there.
I can't get through this episode.
Actually, we also have a really
Liz, you had something really cool that you wanted to share.
Yeah.
This
So
story.
like just now Kayla was sharing about her grandfather, and it just reminded me of this time when I was at Scarborough Town Center. I had bumped into my father-in-law at McDonald's at Scarborough Town Center, and he was sitting with this
Very on
older
brand for
gentleman.
Lolo.
if not McDonald's, Tim Hortons.
Coffee and a muffin. Coffee and a
And
muffin.
he was sitting with this older gentleman, and so I was just hanging out because I was waiting for something. I was hanging out with them, and he was just talking about his granddaughter and just like literally beaming. And he was like, oh, she was I think this is very early in your career, but he was like, she was in school somewhere else, but now she's on, CP24. And I'm like, oh. And then I was like, who? Because I'm like, what Filipino on CP24? Right? And then he mentioned your name. Oh, and then every time I see CP24, I was talking about, that's who he was talking about. But the way he was describing you, I was like, oh my God, like he was just like, I'm like chills right now.
The ultimate
way he
hype
talked to you.
man.
Yes.
So like, yeah, she was doing this and that, and now she's on CP24 and that, and it's just so random that it was like my father-in-law's friend.
Yeah. But that's so okay. So let me tell you, like my
Oh
Lolo,
my god.
those are like his stomping grounds. So like that story doesn't surprise me, but then it also like just makes my heart so happy.
Yeah, so cute.
If I'm being honest,
Because the
it's like,
muffin's 10 cents if you add it to the coffee. Which is what they say.
yeah, because he always like that would be his thing. Like, he's with his pares and he's just like chilling there with his coffee and their muffins or whatever. But no, honestly, like it warms my heart that he is ridiculously proud. And I
as he should be.
thank you.
Yes.
And I appreciate it so much, even if it's like to the point where it's like to a fault. I'm like, okay, Lolo. It's like, okay. But you know what? It's so sweet though, because hearing stories like that, because he is like, my Lolo's 92 now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like God bless him.
God
He's
is
92.
good.
So he's not able to do the mall hangouts as much anymore. But like back, like just a few years ago, like when that happened, like that was his thing. So thank you for sharing that. That's such
so
a
random.
yeah, it's so random, but still so sweet.
I never forgot it. That's how much he was so, Anyways.
That's beautiful.
I actually want to ask more about that. How you, before you got to CP24, I guess, what was your journey to become a reporter and anchor? Like, did you always want to do this? Was it something that kind of came randomly?
You know, I feel like when people ask me that question, the short answer is no. Like, did I think I was going to be on Toronto's Breaking News? No. Like, that short answer is no. For me, I was born and raised in Scarborough, like I mentioned, right? And so for me, I actually ended up leaving Scarborough, leaving Canada as a whole when I was 17 years old. And people are like, what? Why? Because I got a volleyball scholarship to the US. Yeah, so I ended up attending this small university in Grambling, Louisiana called Grambling State University, which is a small Division I school. Because I have a huge love for the game of volleyball, and I was like, I had this idea that was planted in me that, you know, you can get your education paid for through sports. Because as we all know, you can't get athletic scholarships here in Canada. And so, it was my high school volleyball coach that sort of planted that seed in my head at around late, like this was late grade 11. Anyway, it all ended up working out. But that even in and of itself is like a whole nother story, like a testimony of as far as like, not giving up on yourself and just, you only need one yes in life. Like all it takes is one yes sometimes to change the trajectory of your life. But that's what led me to Grambling. And so in the end, I actually left home for all in all, just shy of a decade. So I left at 17 and I actually didn't come back until I was almost 27. A lot happened in that time. Again, probably don't have time for all of that, but let's just fast forward. And when I got back, I ended up getting a job in the Canadian Football League in the CFL. And so I got a job as a sideline reporter. And essentially, long story short, that job led me to CP24. Yeah. And it was, you know, like some people, you know, call things like coincidence. Like I don't believe in coincidence. I truly believe in God's timing. 100%. And for me, it was the right timing. And you know, here we are 7 years later. And it's part of my story. It's part of, but I always like to say, you know, people, of course, naturally, and I get it, they associate, you know, me with what I do, but it's like, I'm not what I do.
Of course.
Sure. I work on a very well-known TV station, and, you know, people may know me from that, but like, I'm so much more, and my identity is rooted far more in something deeper than just what I do. And for me, it's my faith. But so that's sort of how I got here. So the short answer is no, I didn't think I was going to see myself, you know, like, so God had other plans. And so here I am right now. So.
That is so
that's
cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Dare I ask though, if you weren't a news anchor, what would you like to do? Or what's something that you've always wanted to try?
So in that 10-year gap that I was like, we'll just skip over it, I actually went back to school and I got my master's degree in sport administration, and I worked as an assistant volleyball coach while I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. So I was a student at Georgia State University at night, and then by day I was a graduate assistant volleyball coach at this small school called Agnes Scott College. And so that paid for my education. So that's why I said like volleyball for me literally opened doors that I could not have opened up by myself. I'm such a huge supporter of women in sports because of what it could do and what it could provide, and just the opportunities that it can. So for me, a little kid from Scarborough, volleyball was what propelled me, and you know, it brought me down to Louisiana, to Atlanta, Georgia, to all different states, because I was able to travel and play and compete, which then led me to playing and competing in Europe, in Asia, down in the Caribbean. Like there's so many different opportunities, and it all stemmed from the love of the game. And I've been an athlete my whole life. I was, you know, I guess you could say like I was a tomboy since like from the get-go, right? And I loved sports, like all of them. But then I honed in on volleyball. So it doesn't really matter what sport it is to me. It's just that seeing young girls like get into it and stay into it and stay interested, because It's what it can do, what it can open, what kind of doors.
For sure.
You the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
yeah.
Oh, that's so good. 'Cause I have a daughter, so it's like just the idea of like encouraging to do sports and like the possibilities, everything you just said.
Yeah.
So like, and I have to put her in sports, something, right?
Or and even just supporting
Yeah.
it, just
Yes.
encouraging
Yeah.
them to kind of go for whatever it is that they're, because same, I have a daughter too, and she's 2, right? And so I don't want to say, just because volleyball was my path, like she has to play volleyball.
Right.
Of course,
Yeah.
if she ends up growing up and loving it, I would love that.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't, like whatever it is, like if it's coding, girl, you're gonna be the best coder there
Right.
is,
Yeah.
whatever.
100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna support it. But but through volleyball, that actually, because of course we're here with Titas, it even brought me back to the motherland, which I'm so grateful for.
Seriously.
Well, actually, can we pause there? And I want to ask about that. Like, how did that opportunity come up? And like, because what an amazing, milestone in your life.
Yeah, no, the opportunity presented itself because I sort of, again, I'm very much so someone who's, I'm a go-getter. So at the time when I was in this season of my life, I was all about volleyball. So I had graduated from Grambling and I played my 4 years of NCAA volleyball, but I was like, I'm not done. Like I still have more left in me. I want to play more. So I actually ended up going for a tryout overseas in Europe, in Italy.
Yeah.
And I was so sure I was like, I'm going on this tour. I'm going to get picked up by a team and it's going to be great. I ended up getting cut. And I was like, And then from there, that essentially led me to grad school. And then my first month of grad school, I blow out my knee. I tear my ACL, MCL, meniscus, the whole shebang. Yeah. So, but again, it was like a blessing in disguise because I was working on a campus. And so I was able to rehab there. And so fast forward, by the time I graduated with my master's, I was strong. I was healthy. My knee was healthy again. And I said, I'm still not done. Like there was a part of me that I was like, I know I can play at an elite level. I just need the opportunity.
Feeling.
I had that gut feeling.
Yeah.
And so I started doing some research and I discovered that in the Philippines, what do they love? They love basketball
And
and they love volleyball. And so doing some like Facebook research, I realized that not only was there a professional women's volleyball league in the Philippines, but that it was big and it was growing. And so I basically, so I started reaching out. I reached out to some players. I reached out to coaches, and in the end, I ended up.
I love that energy.
Yeah.
So
Get him.
well, listen,
Get it, girl.
I went on a Google hunt.
Yeah, exactly. And so I ended up reaching and making contact with a coach, and he basically said, "Okay, well, we're in our off season right now, but we have this upcoming tournament. If you're open to it, come play in this tournament." And that's basically your tryout, and we'll see how it works. So I had just graduated from my master's degree. And so I ended up packing up my stuff from Atlanta, Georgia. I drove back up to Toronto, dropped my stuff off with my lolo. And then imagine my lolo who is finally like, oh, my anak's back. Only for me to then say, Lolo, I'm going to go back to I'm going back to the motherland and I'm going to go and attempt to play professional volleyball. And he's like, sus Marios. Like, why? And so he initially wasn't for it because he was like, why? You just got back. And so I'm not exaggerating. I booked a one-way ticket.
So cool.
Because again, I was like, I know I'm going to, I can do this. I bet on myself. So I booked a one-way ticket. I literally dropped off. I unloaded my car into my Lolo's condo, like all my stuff. And then it was like not even 3 days. 3 days later, I was off to Manila.
Wow.
Yeah. And so long story short, the tournament went well. We won the tournament. And so that was essentially, they were like, okay. And they offered me a position, a spot on their team.
I think she passed.
And that was, and then that's sort of like the story of how I ended up getting to Manila, living in the Philippines for just shy of a year. And that experience is like a whole
another one. We gotta bring Kayla back.
Yeah,
we definitely have to do a part 2.
This is not enough time.
Crazy. No, it is not.
Culture, the food, the vibes, the reunion. Like it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I can only imagine. I know we're trying to manifest like recording over there.
I
don't
can
know
see that.
where, but we're gonna figure it out. Yeah.
Tita Salita penis.
Yes. I got a story that I want to share because one, I want to know if this has happened to anybody else.
Okay.
Because my phone freaked me out. Okay. So for context, because I'm living at home. My mom just made a comment and was like, hey, like, you're not telling me where you're going. Can you just like let me know? I was like, yeah, no, for sure. And that was a verbal conversation with one text reminder. Friday night now, I go to my friend's house with my girl because we have to do some planning for a trip. We're leaving around 12:30 in the morning and we're getting on the highway leaving Ajax.
Okay.
I get a notification on my phone and it goes, oh, like, do you want to send a prompt to Ma? Like, that's how I have my mom saved. And I was like, what? What is this? Yeah. I open the notification. It goes immediately to my iMessage chat with my mom. And in the message box, it already has this icon that says like prompt, notify Ma, will be home by 1:05 a.m.
What?
Whoa.
I didn't ask for this.
Whoa.
Do you have an iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
Is your Siri on?
iPhone.
I heard some shit about
I
your
don't even
Siri
have
on?
Siri on like that.
Is
Yeah,
your,
so like,
but is your mic on?
It's got to be.
Yeah, it's
I
gotta
guess.
be.
If
It heard
your
you
mic is
listening to you.
on,
Oh, it's constantly.
no, but I
listening.
Constantly
wasn't. But I
listening.
wasn't even saying anything about my
Doesn't
mom.
matter.
Because you're not
It didn't
home.
say
Because it knows
anything.
where you're home. It knows
It
your
was so freaky.
house.
So, anyways, the prompt, it's like this icon. It was like a square. It was in the chat. All I had to do was hit send. But because I felt so freaked out, I was like, no, I'm not sending this. Before I deleted it, I screenshot it so I could have proof.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I delete the message and I close it. And then me and my friend were obviously still on the highway. And I'm like, that was really intrusive and kind of Black Mirror-esque.
Yes,
For anyone
yes,
that
yes,
watches
yes.
that.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe this happened. I go to my photos to check the screenshot.
It's not there.
The screenshot is there. The chat is there. But the message that was in the box, gone.
I'm gonna throw it.
What?
That's crazy.
What?
Okay.
That's
Oh
ridiculous.
my gosh, no. Guys.
No, it freaked me
Boycott.
out. And then I
Boycott.
tested it. I went to another message.
Oh shit, sorry.
Oh.
It's me, sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's
Oh
like,
my God, they're listening again.
they're listening again.
They're listening again.
They're like, she's on to us. Distract.
Oh my gosh.
Distraction.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So then I even tested it. I screenshotted, like I started texting in a message. I screenshot that. The message shows up in the screenshot. So that was really freaky. So
Yeah,
for
that's
all
good.
the Apple iPhone users,
Yeah.
Did that make you go back into your settings and like
Yeah.
recheck everything?
Investigate.
True.
Because I mean,
I should.
I want to say that they market that as convenience, not intrusiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
then
That's
what
true.
freaks me out is like, okay, because for anyone that has an Apple iPhone, it's like when you get updates, if there's a new feature, we get a notification.
Right.
It tells you, but it doesn't go into my message and set it all up and be like, hey, look, we did it for you.
That's-
like,
that's
especially if I
next
didn't
level.
ask.
Yeah,
like,
that's next
Yeah.
level.
so scary.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened, but I do know that, like, let's say I'm in a room and I'm talking and I'm like talking about something I've seen at the mall or something that I want to purchase. All of a sudden, my algorithm
Yeah.
on
Yep.
Google and my suggestions, and I'm like,
Yep.
hey,
Yep.
I'm trying to save money.
Yep.
But then it's all over.
Does
doesn't
that,
matter.
anything like that happen to anyone?
I do get the suggestion, but it's like I usually message the same people around the same time. So it would be like,
oh my God.
oh, send a message to Tita Salita, for example. And I'm
Oh,
like,
man.
okay, not this morning. Like,
Yeah.
don't assume that,
Yeah.
but nothing like that. Like it doesn't open up
Same.
and then like have like a phrase
Yeah.
ready. You know, what
Like
I
it
mean?
was
To
just
That's
like a
send.
crazy.
yeah, a phrase. It was like a little image.
That's
That was
Like
that's
was it
little
like a
scary.
pin for your location? Like what was the
No,
image?
it was like a square and like a little outline of a person, and it says prompting Ma will be heading
That's not
home.
even an
will
Apple
be
thing. Like
That's
that's,
what
not
I
an
mean.
Apple.
That's why, like,
Yo,
it didn't
maybe
even
someone's
look like
hacking your
Apple
phone.
branding. Oh Lord, here we
Oh
go.
my
I'm-
gosh.
gotta
Honestly,
change your passwords.
anything is possible now
scared
with
now.
technology.
It's true.
Okay,
Like
so
my
AI.
yes,
God,
I'm
it's
gonna go
Big
into my
Brother.
settings and fix and go through all
Yeah,
of that.
go through all that.
That is so crazy.
Crazy.
But yeah, Cam, I felt like you mentioned something last
Oh my
week
gosh, okay,
about
Do it.
episode.
I
Do
did
it.
say something about this episode. Okay, so I know you grew up in Scarborough.
Yes.
And I know we, amongst us, have some mutual friends. We're close in age.
Mhm.
And as a Blasian Filipino,
Hey.
I just want to note that this is a bit of a historical moment
Oh.
because not often or ever, I think anyway, is there ever more than one Blasian Filipino person in a room at a time? Let alone sitting on the same table on
I
the
love
same
that.
show.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
it's usually
beautiful.
just one one per. That's usually the quota, right? That's always been the quota growing up. There's usually one per friend group, one per, but here we are.
Yeah.
There's two of us.
I love it.
And I think it's a really big deal.
I do too. No, I agree. But it's so funny because we talk about Blasian, Filipino, and what's your mix?
I'm Filipino Nigerian.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm curious, especially because since we're here, we're at the table. Did you go through those feelings like a lot of mixed people as far as being not enough of either?
Yes.
I'm sure that this is like a whole nother conversation that
we have to have an episode about that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. 100%.
We should actually, that should be an episode.
Absolutely.
Tita Kayla, part 2.
Because it is hard to even
Already
talk about on my own because it's there's no feedback. Like no one understands, and it's hard to explain.
Absolutely.
Right. Especially as people who grew up more on the Filipino side, with the Filipino parentage, like especially the generational influence. Like there are a lot of layers there, to say the least.
I can 1000% relate to that because like you said, for me being of Filipino and Jamaican descent, but raised by my Filipino grandparents, culturally, I guess closer to my Filipino side, but yet very well, but then also many times being reminded that I was not full Filipino or even there's still times in today where people will still like on, I guess social media where they're like, oh, I didn't even know you were Filipino. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, so, the comments of like, you're not Filipina enough or you're not Jamaican enough. And it's like, what does that even mean? But okay. Like there's just, like you said, there's a lot of layers to it. Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of stuff. So thank you.
Yay.
Thank you for sharing the stage with me. There's more than enough room for all of us.
Yes, there's space for
this
all.
is pretty like historical.
Yeah, it really is.
Like this is like really impactful, and the people who are watching it, and the things that we're saying and the connections, you're like, it's so cool.
And it brings up a good point because I think too, and like for myself, like now I have a daughter, right, and so raising her as a young Black girl, but she has and will know about her Filipino heritage, right? Because I guess culturally that would make her a quarter Filipina, right? But I know that this was a topic of discussion on one of your previous episodes, but like teaching her, Filipino culture in a sense of like mano po, she knows mano po, right? Teaching her, she learned. Shout out to my tita because that's her Lola, but she taught her that like really young, like months ago, right? Amazing. And like learning the foods, like all of that stuff is really important to me because personally, like my experience with Tagalog, with the Filipino culture is a bit like how do I describe it? I cherish it now as an adult for sure, but if I'm being honest, like I don't speak fluent Tagalog, right? I can understand Tagalog pretty well, and I try my best, and I'm a good interpreter. Like you can't get certain stuff by me. Like, But
what'd you say?
Right? Hold up. Wait a second. But right? But at the same time, I'm not fluent. And so, and even now as a mom that is something that I've thought of, like this idea of, oh my gosh, like, so the little bit of culture I have to hold on to, this is what I'm going to pass on to her. But I wish I had more. And then it makes me, so then there was a time where I was actually, resentful sounds kind of strong, but I was resentful. Like I asked my Lola, I was like, why didn't you teach me Tagalog growing up?
100%.
And I think that this is a conversation that a lot of Filipinas or Filipinos in general in our age group, right, go through, because now the next generation, it's like, I don't want to say watered down. That sounds bad, but it's like, it's hard to be able to salvage and to save the culture and to share it when it wasn't shared to us as much as it could have. And the thing is, it's like, it's double-edged sword, because I know from their perspective, and perhaps maybe this is some of your family's reasoning, it's like this idea of like, well, we wanted to Canadianize you. Protect us, right? And but then which is too bad, because it's like I can see, but then knowing good and well, like, well, we were going to learn fluent English in school anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, like the home is like where you should be able to learn and if anything, cultivate the second the mother tongue.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's like, not to compare, but it's like, I feel like I've mentioned that before. It's like, because you look at other cultures, they were born here.
Imperative.
They all, without
imperative.
hesitation.
And it's
But
their-
to your point, it's like, for Filipinos, we understand the intent that our parents or, you know, older family members had for us. But then it's unfortunate because now we're here like,
What do we do?
Yeah,
We're the
yeah,
adults
yeah.
now.
And then the question,
Yes.
the question becomes like, how Filipino are you?
Yes.
Right? Because then if
Gosh.
there's just like the layers, like it's, oh, because you don't speak Tagalog, like you're not that Filipino.
Oh, yeah.
And then I seen this reel the other day on Instagram where it was like, you know, if you think about the culture back home, like it was a really big deal for our cousins and etc. to be learning English, like to really
True.
perfect English.
Yeah.
So I think they came here with the mindset like, you know what?
You have to learn
English.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is going to
No,
be
for
like
sure.
the main prerogative.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I wish I spoke it too.
I know, right?
Even for me now, because my daughter, she's growing up currently in the same household as my tita. So I tell my tita all the time, I'm like, talk to her.
Speak to
her, right?
Ah.
Like, so even because right now her mind is a little sponge right now. So that
Yeah.
way she can, if she can learn as much as me, if not more, I will be pleased. Like I will be happy as a mom, you know?
Right.
Because
I love that.
I think it is important, you know, even, and of course to introduce her to all of her cultures.
Of course.
But yeah, since obviously we're on the topic of Filipino culture, then
Yes.
yeah, like it is. It's important.
Yes.
Yes.
1000%. We're about to talk about Mother's Day.
Yes. What do you guys? Well, I mean, I know you guys are the mothers. Are you expecting surprises? Do you have plans?
Yeah, how does a mother prepare for Mother's Day?
Yeah.
I mean,
Liz, I feel like you've been a mom longer than I have, so you answer that question.
I mean, the first Mother's Day, you know what? I just want to do nothing for Mother's Day.
Thank you. That is
like, just leave me alone.
Such a real answer.
no, it is the honest truth. Okay,
I'm so sorry.
And before I became a mom, it's like you think it's the flowers, it's the chocolate, it's the whatever. Girl, it is 8 hours of sleep.
Yes. Let me
A hot
sleep in.
meal.
Yeah, a good.
If I want to go back to bed, then let me do that. Let me sleep.
Yeah.
And then you know what? Throw in a gift card for something that I like that I could use at a later date.
Yes. I'm with that.
You heard it here
pressure.
first,
Yeah.
guys.
That's my own convenience.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if it's like if you know the thing is like pedicure, like okay, she never treats herself to a pet. Okay, get me a pedicure card. Like get me a gift card. Let
But
me use it
later.
on a
I like
because I'm
convenience.
not gonna do it on the day of. I'm not gonna
Exactly.
do it on
Yes,
Sunday.
that's true.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And let's be honest, because depending on your situation, perhaps you're still going to be doing the things. Like
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
hope in reality that you really do get to do nothing, Liz,
I
and that you
mean,
really do get to.
I'm not sure.
sleep.
Liz
I
doing
know.
nothing.
All the moms out there listening to this are like,
Right?
yeah,
It's
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like,
unbelievable.
this is hitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, even if I did have like a whole day off, could I actually do nothing? Probably not. Probably not. But I mean, okay, if they want to shower me with things, okay, great. Like, that's wonderful. You know, I think we're gonna take my mom out for brunch. So if anything, it's like
okay, that'll be
celebrating her
nice.
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's like, you know, my husband already knows, like, I don't really need anything extravagant. The kids make their like stuff from school. And they show it to me.
Oh.
You know, just simple things,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And,
Sleep,
but those are
sleep in.
meaningful. Like
They are very.
for
extremely.
so tomorrow I'm actually going to my first Mother's Day tea
Oh,
at my
cute.
daughter's daycare. And you know what? I think this is going to be really emotional for me because I guess this is a perfect platform to talk about it because my mom, who is Filipino, and my Lola, they both passed away. They're not here anymore. So my mom died when I was really young, when I was just 3. And then it was my Lola who raised me, but then she passed when I was 13. So if I'm being honest, like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, and like their birthdays are always hard for me.
Yeah.
But can I tell you that as a mom now, there's been certain dates and there's certain memories now, or certain holidays, I should say, that have new meaning. There's like this saying, like, you know, God gives beauty for ashes. And so there's like there have been, those are times that have been ashes in my life.
Yeah.
And now like it's beautiful. Like now, so
I
like
love that.
honestly, what I'm planning for Sunday, not much, but I don't mind because I get to spend it with Kennedy.
Exactly.
And I'm genuinely so fortunate and blessed. And I think it's bittersweet because if anything, the only thing that's bitter about it is that I wish that my mom and my Lola were still alive to see her, that they got to meet her. Like, and if anything, it's moments like that. That's when I get sentimental and it starts to get me choked up. But then at the same time, I look at her and I'm so just amazed. And so like, it's that saying of like beauty for ashes. And so like, now I look at her and I'm like, I get to spend time with her. So like, so I'm going all out. Like I'm going to wear a nice dress at her tea. You know, like I'm so excited to celebrate it and to just enjoy my first Mother's Day thing. You know, I'm really excited.
I'm excited for you.
Me too.
Excited for you.
Yes.
Wow.
Also, I feel like I have like core memories as a child, like the days my mom had time to like play with us. You know what I mean? So like to have like a tea party.
Exactly.
Like that's so cute.
It's sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's funny. It's I love that you said that because you know, as a mom now, and especially as a busy working mom, I wrestle with that mom guilt a lot often.
Girl.
And for me, it's so imperative for me right now that my daughter at 2 years old, that I am present because I wrestle with that because I am so busy because of work. And sometimes there are days where I'm like, I'm not doing enough or I'm failing because I'm not as present as I want to be, though it's for good reason. Obviously, I'm you know, I'm doing what I need to do for her and for myself. But hearing someone as an adult saying that a core memory of you and your mom is just her playing with you. And that just goes back to being a present parent.
100%.
Like you don't need gifts. You don't need things. You don't need the shiny, the latest clothes or shoes or whatever. Like you just want a present parent to be there for.
Such a long
and so for me now as someone who didn't, I only had my mom for a short moment and like my Lola, like all I want to do is be a present. Like I want that for Kennedy. I want her to one day look back and be like, yeah, my mom was there. My mom did things and she was at the Mother's Day teas.
That's
She wore that dress.
That's literally what we were saying before. Like you, because I'm an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur, I'm so busy, but those moments that you have with your child, they remember those things. And the intention when you're with them, playing with them, talking to them, asking them how their day was, especially as they get older. It's those moments that they really remember because I could be gone the whole day, which you guys know. And when I come home, it's like all about mama, like, mom. And they want to tell you all the stories. And I just sit there and listen and absorb them. You know, and it's like that. Those are the things. Absolutely. You're right. It's none of the material things they don't care about. They just want your time, your attention, your love.
Because we're in a day and age where like in social media, you know, like the most like lavish birthday parties now. Right? You know, and there's like a certain level of like almost like keeping up with the Joneses, if I would say. Like how more elaborate can we make a 1-year-old party or a 5-year-old party? You know, and it gets so now I'm almost like, because I mean her birthday's not till January, so I've got time. But I was like, I actually want like a McDonald's, maybe for her 3rd birthday. It's McDonald's. It's a flat sheet of like one of those like large cakes from like Costco. And it's just balloons and it's just vibes. Like like you know, no more like aesthetics.
So happy. So happy.
Because at the end of the day, like they just want our time. That's all it really boils down to.
That actually I just want to share quickly. There was this one moment that made me realize like I need a pause. I was taking a shower and my daughter, she was like standing in the washroom while I'm taking a shower. And I'm like, of course,
personal space.
And she's like waiting for me there, and I'm like, baby, like why are you waiting for me? Wait for me outside. And then she started crying, and I'm like, I got out of the shower and I came outside. I'm like, why are you crying? And she's like, I just want to spend time with you. Like literally said that to me. And she was 4. And she was 4 years old at the time. And that moment, this is when I was starting Bow Mama. That moment, I was like, like, I gotta like be like, listen, you know?
Yes. And I think a lot of time, like you have, as a parent, like you have those moments like that stuck with you. I have a moment like that as well that just stuck with me. And it really makes you, at least for me, like you talk about perspectives changing, priorities changing, things that were super important that I would like list, you know, on like none of that means anything to me
Right.
now. A lot of it, even, you know, of course, like as very strong-willed, career-driven women, and I consider myself that, but man, there's just so much though that motherhood has changed in me, and I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I really am. And so, but all is to say, like, from the going back to the original point of it, it's like they're not always going to be this small.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
and I
That's
know
true.
that there's always different chapters of motherhood, and I
Yeah.
get that. But I'm currently walking through the toddlerhood chapter,
Yeah.
and I just
It's
want
fun.
to be present for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're aware at this age.
Mhm.
They know I was just telling the girls, like, they're totally aware. Like, I talk to my kids, like, my youngest is 3, my oldest is 7. I talk to them like this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like, because I know that they understand.
Yes.
And I know that they understand because of the way they respond to things when certain situations happen. And I'm like, wow, he was actually listening. And he's 3 years old. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so yeah,
Yeah.
intention, right?
They're sponges, and so you know,
Yes.
you want to lay that good foundation. You want to
100%.
make sure that they remember that you were there. You know,
Yes.
it's anything like it's like a good pressure, because you just want to do the best for them, right?
Yeah.
You want to
All
do
day.
what is so best, and so like it makes you stay up at night. Sometimes it makes you think like, oh my gosh, I was a terrible mom today, and then literally like you'll think you were the most awful one, and then they'll give you the biggest hug, and then I just burst into tears
Oh my
because I'm just
God,
like,
Kayla, I'm gonna cry because you're right. Oh,
Can I just shout out the mothers?
love you
Like,
endlessly
They just
still,
love you
and like you're
endlessly.
still like this amazing
yes.
person in their eyes, and you were
Yes.
like, I dropped the ball today, and
we're
and
so
they're-
hard on ourselves.
and yet
We're
they
so hard on
they
ourselves, but
remind
yet,
us,
but yet they remind us that, like, chill.
yeah,
I still love you. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, chill out.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ah.
So true.
Giving
Oh,
a big
sorry.
no shout out to all
Shout
the
out the
moms.
superheroes.
It is
Yes.
not easy,
Mm-mm.
and
You guys make it look easy.
yeah, honestly,
Like, I'm out here trying to juggle my own independent life by myself. And
you said that, guy. We're like, I
we
am
always
child.
say it.
Like, we are
I am child.
children, okay?
I am
I'm
child.
struggling,
And
girl.
you guys are raising little humans, and you guys
And
shout
also
out
your
the mommies.
tolerance level for stupid SHIT is like this short. Because I'm like, I have 3 children. If you're a grown ass person, you don't know how to like deal with your stuff. Like, no, I don't have time for
Yeah,
that. Because I have 3 children who
100%.
depend on me.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
stop.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
we're about to do our Hello Hello segment, but first, we're gonna hit Kayla with some Filipino plash.
It's so
Did I say that right? It's a plash.
I've never heard Liz's.
So good.
So good.
That was
All right.
real.
Okay, are you ready,
all right.
girl?
Authentic.
I'm ready.
Okay,
Here we go.
3, 2,
Stand by.
stand by. Where were you born?
Scarborough, Ontario.
Can you speak Tagalog or any Filipino dialects?
Konti lang.
Naks naman. Adobo or sinigang?
Oh, sinigang all day.
Hey, all
Sinigang
day.
gang.
Filipino spaghetti or pancit?
Pancet with lemon.
Okay. Lumpia or empanadas?
Oh, I gotta go lumpia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your Jollibee order?
Oh, okay.
I love the big eyes.
spicy fried chicken.
Yep, check.
with the Filipino spaghetti and a mango pie at the
Yes.
end. And
It's
my
Jada's
drink
order.
is the what
Say
is
it.
it? The
Pineapple juice.
Say it. That's like Jada's exact order.
Literally.
Who's
Exact order. Jada's exact
I'm
order.
just missing the kanin for the chicken. That's it. Okay, who was the first Filipina you saw growing up, like in the media, that you can remember?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? Locally, there was 2 locally growing up. And it's actually full circle that I can call them my colleagues, but Pauline Chan from CTV Toronto and Melissa Grello.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and it's again, it's full circle.
And I love
because
that it's a local.
Yeah, and it's beautiful because I get to, I've worked with them. I've got a chance to meet them. And so
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a
Dope,
great
dope.
answer.
Amazing.
Favorite thing about the Philippines?
oh,
So hard.
it's so
How
hard.
do you choose?
How do I choose? Okay. I would, man. Well,
Way to trumper.
It's a trick
Filipino
question.
bagal. No.
Dugay.
I guess, you know what? I would have to say it's almost like it's like worlds collided. There's a little bit of everything. Like you see the beauty in like there is elaborate beauty in the malls, in the like the different islands and the beauty in that. And then there's still like, but there's beauty in the not so beautiful. Like, you know, where like I guess if you want to call it like slums, like there's I witnessed so much while being there. But I loved it. Like I loved that I was able to hop on. I rode jeepneys and I got to like eat street food, and you know I got to take in the culture, and that everyone was so welcoming. Right? Like even with my broken Tagalog and all, that they still welcomed me. And I think too, because I'm much taller than an average Filipina,
A little bit.
that everyone always wanted to take a picture.
Oh, really? Celebrate.
I can totally see that.
Selfie po.
Yes, selfie.
She's a triple threat. Okay, favorite Filipino dish.
Of all
time.
All time, sinigang.
I
wasn't kidding. Sinigang game for life.
She's
Favorite
invited to
Filipino slang word or expression. That laugh.
I'm gonna be mature and not use a curse word.
We can all think it together, though, guys. I know.
You know what? It's just using sus. So just to cut
Sus.
down sus Maria. Oh, sus.
Oy, sus.
That's good. That's good.
Sus. Yeah.
Or what I use, like I'd say that's what I use more than sus. I don't think I'm like fully in my Tita era where I'm using sus.
We're still evolving.
It's like I'm like by the time Kennedy's like 4, I'm gonna be like full blown.
Huy, tita mode.
Yes.
Bahala ka.
But do you do the psst with the lips though?
Yes, with the lips.
Do you
All
point with the lips?
very expressive. Okay. What do we got next? Okay, beach or mountains?
Beach.
Balut? Yes or no? I don't know if it's
No.
No.
Not the nose square.
Halo or taho?
Taho.
Oh, halo.
Yeah,
I like taho.
yeah.
I can't know. So it's the
Favorite-
texture, man.
Ouch.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Favorite Filipino celebrity?
Oh.
Myself.
So many.
Oh.
Did you say myself?
Rufio. Shout out
Joe
Rufio.
Coy is funny to me. He's a
okay.
funny guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joe Coy is funny.
Yeah, I guess for right now.
There we go.
Okay,
Shout
okay.
out Joe Coy.
Yes.
And last but not least, favorite Filipino snack?
Oh, these questions are impossible.
You know what I used to love?
Which one?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have it in my brain right now, but I'm not remembering the name of the brand. It's those little
Hot flakes.
those little balls, and they came in different flavors like barbecue, sweet and sour, and they were like crunchy.
Boy Bawang? Is it boy
No,
Bawang?
you're talking. It came in adobo.
Yes.
The peanuts.
The peanuts. Yeah.
Oh,
And they came with like
Nagra peanuts?
Nagra, yes.
and it's like it came with like that outer shell, and then you like crunch it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I was about to be like, I don't really know which one she's talking about.
Yeah,
but you
we
know,
had it here before.
The garlic.
That one was my favorite.
Yeah,
The garlic.
too.
Yes.
The adobo was my
You could
favorite.
find it in any
Yeah.
Asian
Yes.
supermarket. You know what I'm talking
Yes.
about.
I thought you were going to describe hot flakes, the ones we all used to do Body of Christ
Oh my
with.
gosh, yes. I like hot
Do you know?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
like tamarind.
The tamarind.
I never liked the taste of
Same,
it, but it
same.
was just a great playing prop.
Yes.
as a kid.
Yes.
I agree.
Why we were
when me
doing
and my
body.
siblings would play church.
Tell me you're Catholic.
Tell me you grew up in a Filipino Scarborough household without telling me.
Facts.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we are nearing. I don't know. Do we have time for a holla holla question, or should
We'll do one.
We'll do
We
one.
have to
Okay.
do
We
one.
have to do one.
We
Okay.
have to do one.
Someone else ask. What do you guys? Oh well.
Like you pick the number.
Yeah,
don't
one,
have
1 to
them.
15. Just
1
pick
to
a number.
15.
10.
10.
Ooh.
That's what you is.
That's a nice
Hey. Ow.
What are your guys? We're running out of time.
Sorry.
Serious. What are your favorite family traditions during celebrations, or one you started?
Oh,
That's a great one.
That's a good one.
That is a really good one. You know what? So growing up on my Filipino side, we always used to have Sunday dinner. Like always. It would always, and it was at my Lolo and Lola's house. And so it's unfortunate because like as we got older and really more so after my Lola passed, we don't do it as often. So, but now something that I think is really beautiful, and I'm grateful for for my Tito for coming up with this idea, because also to context, our family has grown. We're so big now, right? Like I'm part of I'm in the grandchildren crew. So now we're having kids. So now it's the great grandchildren, right? Yeah. So we have so many in my family. And so now what we do is that we rent a hall for Christmas. So that way we can all still make it and come together. Wow. And so we've only done it for this will be the third year now. Nice. But we're making it a point, because it got to the point where literally like no one has a big enough house to house everyone. Yeah. And rather than it like that being an excuse
or a burden for someone too.
Yeah, exactly. So we're like, no, okay, well, we're gonna find a place, a neutral spot, rent it out. And so we do it, we'll celebrate like a week earlier. And so we did that last year.
I love that.
I love that too, because it's like we're only gonna get bigger. Like I think, we just welcomed in, I think, oh my gosh, our great grandchildren in our family, in the Tienko family, is at like 20.
Wow.
Great grandchildren. Yeah. So like the quick Tienko family tree is my Lolo, my Lola. Yeah. They had 7 kids, 5 boys, 2 girls. So my mom was one of 7. And then from there's 18 grandchildren. And there's now 20 great grandchildren and counting. So all to say, shout out to Lolo Ben.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lolo Ben. That's his lineage.
Amazing.
That's legacy. Wait.
I absolutely love that.
Important question. Is it at QSIS?
You know what? Wait, okay, serious question. Back to you. Is QSIS still open?
It is. Yes. My parents celebrated a couple weeks ago. It is.
I've not been there in years, but who hasn't been to a debut?
For sure.
My prom was there, guys.
There you go.
All right, we have like the last 10 seconds. You want to do a shameless plug?
Shameless plug. Follow my life and all the things that I'm up to. Motherhood, professional life, and faith, and all of the things at Kayla Marie T.O.
Yes.
And what's going on for the weekend, guys?
What's going on for the weekend? We're all going to be in the same location.
Yes, we are.
Point Goddess. We're going to be at Point Goddess annual celebrity game. Lots of fun. Teed up for Saturday. Find your titas there. Come kick it with your titas. And
come watch Kayla play.
And come watch
Kayla be a great supporting teammate.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Maybe get a 1-2 bucket. We'll see.
Yes. But Kayla, we cannot thank you enough for joining us. We got to have a part 2. I'm just going to throw it out there.
We need to. That was amazing.
Please come back.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of like a closing. I
Save
just
my
say
seat, okay?
Yes.
Your accent is like a big thing.
Next time we're working on it.
Perfect. Salamat po.
Sis. And until next time, guys, take it easy this week. Ingat.
I love that.
Yay.